Greetings. And welcome back to that thing we're doing now. What are we doing now? Mind Magic 8. That's what we're doing. We're doing some Mind Magic 8. We're going to go into a Durga dungeon. We're going to maybe not... We're going to die. There's no shot that we get through this without dying at least once. But hopefully we can get through this without dying too much. We're going to just jump straight into things. Let's see. Is dungeon what I need? Is danger what I need? This is at 204, so presumably it's danger. Hey, Rotosat. Ugh. How many levels have we gotten? 1. Okay. Let's go in here. And immediately... No, we need to do some inventory management, I believe. I think that was something that I decided to do. Can you certify the axe yet, or do I need the quest? That's a good question. I don't think I have the axe, right? I'll need to go back. I'll need to figure out where it is in there, actually, because I don't... I've opened most of the chests in there, and I don't know where it is. I don't think I picked it up. Let's see here. I'll check the rest of the dungeon. Okay, this
No room.
might be very useful for this particular situation we find ourselves in. I believe the only thing that we need right now is to maximize our thinger. What are we doing? Okay, we're checking for things that are good. You don't
There's
worry.
no
Other, is this useful for you? 16% increase. I need the damage on you. My emphasis is going to be on
Junk.
durability for Sortira, because Sortira is maintaining the thing.
Who needs it?
You do. That's who needs it. That's something that we will play with later. That's of Darkness and Might and Speed. And we're going to get Mastery soon. So I'm going to... specifically, we're going to get Grand Mastery soon, actually. So, soon. Nothing's going to happen soon if we don't manage to get through this dungeon. I'm a little concerned about... 56. So we only have a few levels left before we can equip this. This increases vitality. I'm not going to worry about vitality right now. Let's see. It's kind of wild that with as much skill as I have, I still have like garbage enough daggers that they are this far behind. Anything else that I need to do? Might and endurance. Twitch a little bit. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. Anything else that will boost my durability? On Sortira. This is sleep and unconsciousness immunity on a ring. Let's go ahead and move this to inventory 5. I'm not going to worry about equipping it at this exact moment, but we'll get to that eventually. And oh, we have this, which is pretty solid. Plus 22 to all resists is very good for the problem we have at hand right now. We need to get our earth resistance as high as possible. That would be convenient. Okay. So we're gonna pop in here. We're gonna see. I think that we established that a potential avenue of attack was to go over here, get past you, and basically take out this big boulder first. But yeah, I don't have the axe. I don't remember what chest it's in. I haven't opened every chest. So we'll see what happens. Alright. I don't have enough to save in this location, which is probably a mistake. The ability to get more regen. Ooh. Should I pump blood? I think I'm going to pump blood just for this dungeon. So this will give my entire party a bit of extra regen. And because of the fact that this is going to entail going forward, eating an attack that almost kills me, and then waiting to regen all the way back up for an extended period of time. And that's, as far as I can tell, that's like the only strategy that I have available to me for this. That's the nature of rocks, right? Is that they do not move. And the only way to interact with them is on their weirdo level. That's a lot of regen. Come on, holy shit. Unfortunately, Sortir is still pretty low. The rocks do not move. I know this is a shock. But weirdly, they aren't even moved by gravity. There's no force in this universe that can move a rock. Just like real life. Just like in real life, rocks never move. There is no force that can make them move. They are, in fact, completely impervious. Pay no attention to celestial objects. Or, you know, pebbles that you toss. But just need to start the no true Scotsman arguments with rocks. It's like, oh, when you throw a pebble, that is demonstration that a pebble is not in fact a rock. Because rocks can't be moved. It's actually interesting. There's this remarkable thing that happened over the last couple of days. Is I watched a couple of different interviews. I was watching some CoffeeZilla videos about scammers, and I also happened to watch like an interview with a like former official of the CCP talking about how like it's impossible for Xi Jinping to be a dictator. And they both use the exact same argument, which I just think is kind of interesting, which is, oh, like, I can't be a scammer slash dictator because if I was a scammer slash dictator, I wouldn't be here. And realizing that, like, pretty much the exact same argument was used by both of these completely unrelated sources is something that's coming to me just now. It's like, wait a second, they were both using the same argument in these two completely unrelated videos that I was watching from completely different sources. It's like, oh, huh, that's funny. Anyway, yeah, so rocks can't move. They're incapable of it. Anything that moves isn't a rock. That's my position. And it's the rock's position forever because it doesn't move. The only true rock is I was going to say fictional character, which is kind of true, but the persona of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, And that persona cannot move, actually. The entirety of the physics of the universe is used to great extent to make it seem like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson moves. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, in fact, has been stationary since the start of the universe. Fun fact. All of the apparent movement is tricks of the light and moving other objects around. The only true Rock. That is the perspective I am going to take. God, what is the is it taxonomy? It's taxonomy, right? That's the taxonomic perspective that I'm going to take. All rocks do not move. Well, the rock isn't necessarily the center of the universe, because the universe has to move around the rock in order to allow the rock to have perceived mobility, right? So the rock can't always be at the center of the universe. Is the rock the most important entity in the universe? That's debatable, but I would say it's undebatably yes. Inarguably. As a media personality, fine, whatever. As the bedrock upon which all physics rests and upon which the universe fully, revolves. Yes. Most important. Okay, that's a concern. We did save, right? Yes. Okay, so we have another setup here. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. Right? It's going to be that bad, isn't it? That first group, I think, only had one big enemy. Every single other group has more than one. This has, I think, 2 or 3. This one here has several. On the plus side, we don't have any bosses. Yeah, we have the ability to get insta-give the second that we walk into that room. Oh man, this is gonna be rough. Oh man. Oh man. Okay. So, I'm going to make an attempt to grab this. I just want to see if I pick this chest up, is this chest going to have anything interesting in it that will magically make my life infinitely easier? Like, a legendary that gives additional thingamabobber. Okay, this is the axe, so we at least found that. That's actually very useful.
My pack's full.
Right, we can't do the offhand thing right now, I think.
We don't need this.
Okay, boring.
We don't need this.
And the axe itself is okay. Nothing too crazy, but I mean, it is a DPS upgrade. Do we grab this and leave? I don't know if I can get out of here easily, but... I'm gonna try to get... Okay. Okay, we got out. The reason that I want to pop out is because we have a couple of, upgrades to our DPS. Not even just one, but multiple upgrades to DPS from having done that. So I think it makes sense to... Severia was... There was a venomous rock in there? Oh, no. Oh, no. Is there a boss in that room? Or are these just venomous rocks? Oh, no. Let's see. We do have Day of the Gods active.
We need to.
We'll just pop out here. Okay. What do we need to do right now? Something. As we just wait on Severia. I don't want to save while someone's unconscious because I'm worried that some weird interaction is going to make someone die before the preservation takes effect on reload. I know that's kind of like a paranoid fear, but especially because I have an autosave to fall back on either way. But I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a drink. We drinking water today. I've been coughing too much, and I need to do some work. Yeah, I would be surprised if it was a boss just because the bosses are bigger than everything else, and I didn't notice any big venomous things. So... there are random status effects added to enemies randomly from the bolster effect. So it hypothetically could be that. So what do we need to do here? The most obvious thing to do... I'm going to show you what the most obvious thing to do is. And all of you can tell me whether you think this is the thing that would immediately spring to mind as the thing to do. No, didn't work. Yes, I was trying to actually break through the ceiling so I could attack them from the ceiling. That is the most obvious way to deal with this encounter. I will have no naysayers suggesting otherwise. It is just a fact. I do have a few saves available. So I don't think there's a lot of utility. Oh right, I need to do hair.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see multiple boulders here, but I don't see a venomous boulder there. I guess one of the other ones could be venomous. I think I saw 3 distinct peaks there. I'm so concerned. It's amazing how singularly, like, oppressive this one attack is. Look, Fireball could never. I will never be as afraid of Fireball as I am of Rock Blast. What could I do to not die? I could use ranged attacks. I could jump on their heads. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. We did not succeed in jumping on their heads. Let's see, we did a couple things right? Yeah. Okay. Do we have more or less damage with this? more damage. Swap this out. And you lose
It's of no use to me.
Right, you can't use this right now. Okay, can't use spears yet at all. Two-hander. Bonus damage. I had another one-hander that gives me thinger. But this, I don't think it's going to be more valuable. This gives me a tiny DPS boost. Oof. Okay, so Cordial's going to be the bulk of my damage for this setup, probably. Because I'm basically going to only be able to hit once and then have to retreat. But I don't... man, this is going to be a... This whole stream might just be me fighting rocks. Because of how, like, oppressively ludicrous this is... you know what? This might be time for a fishing expedition. That actually probably is my best strategy. We're gonna go on a fishing expedition. So, what the hell do I mean by that? We're fishing for some good RNG. We are abandoning the concept of strategy, tactics, and common sense, and we are instead going to fish for some RNG. We need a huge amount of RNG to be able to burn through one of these rocks while there's two other rocks that can potentially hit me. And rather than do a very long thing where I run in, get hit, run out, instead, what I think I'm going to do, which I think might actually be the optimal strategy from a time perspective, is to literally run in, hold A until one of them explodes, and then run out and save. Because that is going to be a very uncommon thing, but I think that we demonstrated that I have decent DPS.
I don't know it.
So... we got a pretty good amount of hits in there. I don't know that we got any crits. The other thing is that we do have to work... We're going to kill the little ones first. It makes more sense to kill the big ones in the sense of, like, the big ones are the ones that are contributing the most, like, RNG factor here. However, the little boulders are more reasonable to kill before I have cleared the other stuff. I'm going to basically do that. And we're going to see... because we got a good amount of time in there. Let's see. We should be fine eventually. One of the things that I want is just to take a quick look at the thing I was hitting.
What is it?
Where's the one that I was hitting?
I've never seen one before.
We didn't.
I've never seen one
We
before.
didn't kill any. I don't know what we were hitting, but I can't check its HP from here. We might not have been hitting just one. We might have been hitting several. We're gonna make another go at it. And if we get burned down, we get burned down. There's a decent chance that going after the little ones in the front is actually going to be a fool's errand, because I can't consistently hit the same target. But we'll see. Okay, this one is nearly dead. So that might be a reasonable way to do it. I think I'd prefer to ignore the little ones. They don't have that much less HP. And we're gonna make a couple attempts at getting the big one dealt with. Instantaneous. But because of the fact that we can't just save between each iteration the way that we did the previous time, we can do a maximum of like 10 saves, right? 10 saves, I don't know if that's enough to actually kill a boulder with any degree of consistency. So it seems kind of wasteful to do a single attack chain. But that was about half of its HP with fairly good attack RNG. We might need to try to do at least a quarter of its HP and leave and save. And I think that's the play. That's the play. And I think we can get this done for all of them. I think this is the easiest one to do it with, because I think there's only 2 here. I think there's 3 up here, and I think there's like 4 here. There might only be 3 here. But either way, we're just going to reload immediately. That kind of thing is where the RNG is going to come into play. But yeah, my goal, I guess, is just to quickly get iterations in, and
I don't know.
that did no damage to speak of. Do I bother? No, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to reload for that. We could level up, but we only have like 1 level available. I don't know that it'll make much of a difference. I could invest some of my skill points as well, which would help us a little bit. It helps us surprisingly little. I'm actually going to pump 3 points into staff, though, because that is actually a fairly meaningful difference. I could pump Arms Master a bit if I want. It's 1 damage per point. This is 3. Get Arms 10 maybe. Dodge needs to get to 7 eventually. We could do the next point of dagger. You're done already. We could pump more points into axe. Let's go for it. Yeah, we're going to put some points into axe. You can... Let's get Spirit up to 10. And I think we're going to want... we don't really want to pump... I don't think we want to pump body much. Can I swap from a body-based healing? I can, right? Because remove cursed also heals. So at expert, this is healing 12 plus 2. 11 plus... No, 16 plus 3 for 12 mana. This costs 15 mana because of the thinger. Let's take a look at this. I think this is going to be just like a weaker setup. It does give me more healing per throughput per second. We're certainly allowed to use them, but we don't have the spells available yet. We need to get promotions before we can get shared life. So... we're locked to expert for all of our spells until we get to Tatalia or Murmurwood. But yeah, we're 100% available to use shared life this run. It won't be necessarily as impactful. We'll have to see. We won't have the passive healing. We will still have the Death Knight, and we are going to have a monk who has some degree of regeneration. We'll see. My guess would be that we're going to have a more mitigation-focused strategy, but it's hard to say what will end up playing out. You can actually pump meditation for very cheap. Let's just get this up to 7. And that's a thing I should probably be doing on these characters both. That's actually a significant upgrade because mono regen is kind of the whole thing for me. Okay, anything else that I need to do? Can I upgrade you? Oh yeah, I can upgrade you. Holy shit. That's a thing that I need to do. So this is up to level 53 required now. That's 3 levels below us instead of being much lower than us. And it has now a boost to all the stats that it's giving us. That's just a nice little boost to our ability to survive here. Got mind resistance leather, delightful. Do I have any leather that gives earth resist? One thing that I actually need to remember is that earth resistance is particular. You know what? You're right. You're right. 100%. Even though explicitly the strategy that I have doesn't actually allow for me to clear the entire area in one more run, and does in fact require that we leave to get food again once we've cleared the first enemy. Despite that, where the hell's our going? Despite that, it'll happen anyway. I feel like I didn't even look at these items. That's got earth resistance. Oh, right, we have the Ring of the Plains. Where's the Ring of the Plains? Oh shit, we're like missing stuff. We fully missed out on some fairly important shit that's in our inventory somewhere. That's a 42 hit point item. That's pretty important. I'm actually going to give this to you, weirdly. It says Earth. Ooh. This has to go over here. Did I already equip the Ring of the Plains? I don't think so. Right? I did not. Okay. Play this. 22 resist. This gives earth resistance. This gives water. This. Favor this. That gives us an extra 10% reduction to physical to earth, which is pretty solid. This gives earth resistance. Anything fairly weak, yes. Give you this. This gives earth resistance as well. As well as just being like a straight up upgrade. Didn't I just try to do like inventory management? What the hell is wrong with me? Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to a vendor. We're going to actually start selling shit. Because I was apparently in a fugue state at the start of stream, and I felt like, oh yeah, I did my inventory management, and I'm like looking at my inventory. I have no fucking idea what's in here, and it's not late, so. Yeah, it's time for the ultimate boss. This is refreshing. Okay, so let's get rid of our armor first, and figure out what's going on here. Okay, this is elemental resists, which is pretty damn strong. I'm thinking that I want this. It gives me 76%, that's 20% damage reduction. I think that's a pretty major upgrade. We're not going to sell these, though. We're going to equip these again once we are back in position. We have this, which we can't use. What am I doing? Right, we're looking through the wrong inventory. So, inventory 3. play this. These are boots. Do we need these boots? I'm gonna hold on to them. They do have the gods as an effect.
Sorry.
Fire resistance. Thinger. I don't think I need this. It would be a sizable investment to make it worthwhile, I think. Weakness immunity. This is an immunity ring. It needs to go in this inventory. These are not immunity items. I don't know what they're doing here, but holy shit, that is a 46% boost to durability from this. Crazy. That's worth it because this is a character who needs to heal. I will leave this here. I will not leave that there. This I will leave. This I will not leave. Okay. Inventory 1 has no armor. Inventory 2, no armor. Inventory 3, several pieces of armor. Several pieces of armor.
There's no room.
Okay.
How can I help you today?
This is of the troll boots. Probably not that important. Okay. This has 21 earth resistance on it, so that is something to bear in mind. We have some rings that we might want to slot in just for this occasion. I think that you're done.
There's no room.
Okay. This is Earth and Speed. It's potentially a very powerful cloak. 8%. But that's presuming that any of those resists are valuable. Let's see here. This one at least isn't presuming. I guess they're not presuming that mind resistance is valuable. I'll hold that over here for now. Okay. Is this throwing of the plane? It's not. I don't think that this is worth holding on to for right now. I know we're only looking for armor. What was I looking at? Was I looking at a ring or something? Okay. Me? ADHD? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Anything else here that's armor? No. Let's see here. Okay. Next, boots. These are armor, and they are a slight upgrade for you, allegedly. We give HP regen. 25, 22. We lose Thinger though. I think I'm gonna keep this equipped. We're gonna keep these over here because we might need them. And let's see. I'm going to move these, actually, into this inventory. And then it's a good assist. I'm not complaining. 100%. The assistance is very valuable. It's very, very valuable, you know? Okay, that is an interesting combination of traits. And I'm willing to make this trade. Okay. Okay, this is just a straight upgrade. Okay, perfect. Next. Earth 43. Let's go. 88% earth resistance. And this is let's see. Okay, we're gonna hold on to this because it's better than some of our stuff, but we have to hold on to it. It's not on this side, it should be on this side. Left side will be the stuff that we are figuring. Okay. Armor, immunity gear. Immunity gear belongs on this side. Armor. Okay, inventory 4, armor. Death and eradication immunity, let's go. Water resistance. It's earth resistance. We don't have any plate that's just really garbage, right? It's not amazing, but it does have +5 to all stats, which is pretty good. Alright. Okay. Armor. That is something that I wish wasn't a hat. This is interesting. So we already have a crown. Let's see. I'm gonna hold on to this for right this moment. Okay, store. Can immediately just make that swap. We'll deal with our ring situation later. I'm not distracted. I know what you're talking about. Rings are armor. Good armor. Okay, this is going into inventory 5. So any other armor that we have in play. This is immunity gear.
There's no room left.
This is armor, which may or may not be interesting, but probably is not. Oh, well, that's an upgrade for you. For you as well. Let's just go ahead and do this. Oh, this gives earth resistance, so maybe we don't do that. Let's hold off on that. Look, our rings are great. I know what you're talking about. We don't need to worry about the rings. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. My ring situation is very dire. Let's see here. Fire, speed, might, int, skill points, speed, and intellect. The intellect won't matter on you. Because your int and personality are basically the same. So if I swapped this out, basically be replacing it as a primary stat. But I don't need this on you, so I think we can get rid of this potentially. This earth resistance. I'm gonna hold on to this for now because I have kind of garbage here. This is a downgrade by a considerable margin. Armor. That's what we're doing. Let's see. Armor. That is armor, this is armor, this is armor. Okay.
How can I help you today?
Getting rid of all of the things that we moved over here. And now it's time to move on to weapons. So we're doing... Oh, that is a good point. It's on now. Yeah, I have a ring and I have a necklace, and the necklace is actually funny because I keep putting it on backward, and I don't know how to stop. I keep trying to reverse it,
How
and
can
then
I
it's
help you
backward again. I do not understand how that happens, where it's like, oh, I put this on backward. Here, let me swap it around again. And I swap it around, and then it's still backward. But yeah, it's much more comfortable now than it was initially.
We carry only the finest.
I was I got out of the habit, and then I'm like, what is this strange sensation on my body? Why does my finger feel so strange? It's because you've got it wrong up.
I can't fit anymore.
Wrong inventory. Okay. This axe I'm going to put over here for right now. Oh, let's take a look at this. This does do a slight upgrade. So, this is going to give me mind resistance and endurance. So this is a slight upgrade because of the might boost, but it's actually a fairly considerable drop in my overall durability. So I think it's probably just not worth it, so we're just going to toss it. No big deal. Okay. This gives earth resistance, but it's a weapon. Okay. You...
There's no room.
So at some point I'm going to run out of space.
We carry only the finest.
I should potentially swap to a strategy where I kind of go back and forth between the... Oh, shit! No, that's spell damage. That's going to be the garbage, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay. I also should make the armor out of the ore that I have there. Okay, can sell you. This two-hander can just sell it offhand. This I'm pretty sure is too weak. Sell you.
Sorry.
And do I have another axe? Yes, I do. So, and you're going to be using a spear, actually, so it doesn't matter that much. Let's see here. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. This is the Ring of the Plains. We're giving this to Sortira in place of... what? I'm going to give it in place of this one. 91% Earth resistance now. We're just stacking resistance on this character because it's the character we most want to survive. It's probably not the one that I want most to survive, though, actually. The preservation spell is useful, but so is regeneration. And I have only 75% resistance over here. It's fine. I'll worry about it later. Ring of the Plains I do want to keep on that character, though. So, that is a happy circumstance. We will worry about the rest later. Okay, this is
There's no
potential.
room left.
Right, we don't need this probably because we have the Primordial Spear of Darkness. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about that. Yeah, we're almost done with the weapons. We're almost done here.
There's no room.
We've got so
we carry
many,
only the finest.
so many sold. And let's see. So this. Yes, this is how I should be doing it. We're gonna basically go through and then organize each of the inventories that actually has space to be organized so that we know very clearly what we have and what inventories we've been through. set. This is a piece that we wanted to potentially use later. So where'd our gong go? I feel like it's a... that would explain it. It's in the inventory of the person who...
We carry only the finest.
I'm not checking their item inventory. Shocking, that. Okay. So, I think what I want to do now... These are our immunity pieces. They're not useful for this particular context. I think we're going to take all of our jewelry and we're going to put it all into this inventory over here. You know what? We're doing it. We're doing the thing. This is the way to do this. I think that this is going to give me fairly marginal upgrades for right now. But because of the situation that we're in and the extreme need for some optimization here, because we could potentially get quite a lot of resistance out of this, I think this is the way to go. That is almost certainly going to go on Severia. Arms Master. It's Arms Master that Death Knights don't have access to. That's the misinformation that I presented. Instead of I got bodybuilding and Arms Master confused. Let's see here. Got you. Okay. Rings. Okay, did I actually do all the rings in that first? I could also do the gauntlets as part of this component, but I'm not going to, because there's not as many gauntlets that I need to play with. So, I am going to leave the Ring of the Plains on Sortira, because I know that I'm keeping the Ring of the Plains on Sortira. That's not a decision that I'm changing. I'm leaving that on Sortira probably for most of the game. Well, not for most of the game. I'm actually going to swap from Sortira to Comonitin once Comonitin is the person who's maintaining preservation. But either way, it's fine. Let's see. We have all these amulets. Okay. Yeah, the inventory boss is slowly but surely being defeated at the very least. We are in an inventory that I can sell in. I'm going to just put some wands over there, because we are going to be selling at that vendor next. Just get this a little cleaner. Speed things up slightly. We might actually run out of inventory space for for these rings. Like, this inventory is completely full now. Look at that. Madness. Okay. What do we have another? Let's take a look and see if we can find anything that is a given. Right now, without any rings equipped and things of that nature, we have 81% earth resistance here. We have... I'm actually tempted to try to average out the earth resistance between the party, but I don't think that that's actually valuable. At the very least, I need to have a lot of earth resistance on Cortal. So this can be sold. This can be sold. This can be sold. This can be sold. This is an amulet. I'm not going to decide on that yet. This is all resists. All resists is actually something I'd prefer to have on these characters. I'm going to go ahead and put this on you for now. It says mind resistance and all resistance. Mind thinger. This is Earth and Arms Master. We're gonna slap this onto you, which we didn't actually steal your gear. Okay.
There's no room left.
Oh no, that's a thing. We'll worry about that in a second. Because yes, this is not what I want. I want to put this on you for right now. Do I want that? We'll find out. So this amulet is something that's going to need to go on somebody. We currently don't have... So there's another amulet here that's of the gods. So this is personality, accuracy, and gods. I think what we're going to do to make this easier is we're going to move to 4th inventory here. And we're actually going to look at all the amulets in an inventory by themselves so that I don't have to worry about the rings mucking things up. So this is a very good amulet. We're probably using it. This is kind of garbage. This is potentially useful. Garbage. Potentially useful. Garbage. Utility gear, we can just sell it. Sell that. Body resistance, potentially useful, I guess. Sell it. This is of the gods. Int and personality and endurance. Again, potentially useful. This is immunity gear, so this needs to just plop over to here. Perfect. Neither of these immunity pieces are particularly important to our current needs. And this is immunity gear that's not important to our current needs. This is AC and resistance that we can put in here for now. And anything else of importance? We can sell this, we can sell this, we can sell this. We lose basically nothing by selling those, even if technically we didn't have upgrades, so we're going to do it. So, this is paralysis and fear immunity, which is immunity gear. And anything else? Yes. Nope. These are all transcribes and things. Okay, I think...
I can use that.
Save under danger again. You have a bunch of stuff that I want to sell. I'm going to start selling this now before I forget this inventory is just garbage. Mission successful. Save it up. Next. Any other things I need to worry about? No. Commandant's inventory I think is cleared. So I think we have everything set up. So what we need now is to figure out, you have 81% Earth by default. I think that it makes sense for me to give you one of the two of the gods. Of the two, this is the one that is most appropriate to just dump on you. So we're just going to give this amulet to you. That, I think, makes the most sense. You have the Arms Master and Earth Resistance. This gives all resists. This gives HB and regen. This gives body resistance. This gives a little bit of might and endurance, basically. This gives a tiny bit of endurance. How many necklaces do we have on? We have one. We have 3. So we need 2 more necklaces. So one of the 2 necklaces is going to be this one. And this is clearly the better of the two. We're going to go ahead and slap that on this one because this character is more important. They're maintaining regen, and they have the most DPS. It makes sense to give them that item. The next thing that we can put on is either a resistance piece for 16 to all resistances, or a pretty sizable HP boost that also gives regen. We could also, if we wanted, lean into doing damage on this character, but I don't think that that makes much sense. So we're going to, I think, just equip this one and call it a day. So we're going to equip this. Do we need to hold on to any of these others? Yes. I don't think that there's really any value in equipping this right now. It gives me like one more earth resistance, which is of very little limited value, but it's potentially going to be that more valuable later on. This is too weak to justify using. Our necklaces are done. We're not going to worry about the necklaces anymore. So, save it up. Now, rings. We're going to start dumping our rings into places. This is regen spell points and nothing else. We're getting rid of it. Int and personality, nothing else. We're getting rid of it. This is pretty solid. We're moving it here. Disarm, no need. Might and endurance, valuable. Endurance on its own, getting rid of it. Earth resistance, we're holding on to. Mind resistance into personality. Might and endurance. Into personality, get rid of it. Fire and dodge. These are very, very low values, so probably not very valuable, but I do have a shit ton of slots to play with. Getting rid of this. A tiny bit of accuracy, getting rid of it. We're not going to sell all this stuff immediately. We are going to make that decision after we have sorted through all this, but I'm going to presume that I don't need any of the things that give absolutely nothing except for the int. This gives 15 earth. This is very powerful. This is Earth of Doom and personality. And I think that we're going to go with this on you for right now, because that just simplifies later itemization to know that that's what I'm doing with that. This isn't terrible. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm probably not equipping it right now, though. Probably not equipping it right now. Might, personality of Doom. Don't know where we're putting it. Might 6. Get rid of it. Might lot. Might decent bit. Arms Master and AC. We'll hold on to this. I think that you don't have Arms Master. Yeah, you don't have Arms Master up to your cap, so you can actually equip that and get value out of it. This is an Arms Master Might and Endurance item. I think I'm actually just going to equip this onto Severia right now, because I know that that's going to be valuable. We're just going to equip it. Earth, Water, Mind. Excellent. Paralysis, Fear, Immunity. This is tempting to put in the immunity category, but it's not because it's too good. It only would go in the immunity category. This does have Might on it and Luck. This is boost to all resistances and fire resist. We're actually going to give this to Ulrin, because I'm going to try to... Can we even do that? This is Might and Personality and Earth Resistance. I'm going to swap these cloaks for now, because I'm going to make the presumption that I'm going to be swapping her to personality and him to int. Speed, AC, immunity, these are good stats. They're not useful for right this moment, but they are generically very good. 26 earth, very nice. Very nice. Get rid of it. Immunity. This is actually straight up immunity gear. Doesn't need to be looked at right now. Disarm and luck, get rid of it. Might, HB 1. No. Again, I need a lot of rings, so endurance 4, might 1. Speed and accuracy. Speed and accuracy. I'm going to hold on to this, but it's probably not going to be worth it. This we will hold on to. This is $22 resists. Doesn't have anything that associates it with a specific character. This is might and personality. And body resistance. HP and speed. My guess is that we're probably going to get rid of a bunch of the really weak stuff that we had and replace it with stuff that's quite a bit better. So our overall value will be substantially higher. So, right now, I think I'm going to basically distribute the immunity stuff. I'm actually going to sell...
Rarities from across the land.
How many of them are there? 3, 6, 9 per. And there's 4. I think that we don't need to worry about this. We have enough to fill. We're much more likely to make a 5% difference than a 15% difference, I think. The ring situation is a mess to deal with. It takes a long time to manage. One of the reasons is that I don't manage the rings very much is because there's such a marginal improvement generally. So we're going to get our earth resistance rings in play first, because this is the stuff that we need to immediately be acting on. And this will allow us to potentially see what we're fixating. I think I'm going to give this to Sortira. Just because it gives personality. We've established that personality is kind of her thing, and it's a very good item that we definitely need equipped on somebody. So by equipping that, we are... It also doesn't have any specific earth resistance. We're probably not going to put any more earth resistance gear on her because she'll be getting it from the AoE stuff. But I could be wrong. I might decide to. Okay, is that all the earth resistance stuff? I think so. This is all resistances, which I guess technically is akin to that. The stuff that gives +2 all resists, I think I'm going to give this to you just offhand. I think that's what I want to do with that. The all resistance stuff I do want to give to one of the two thingers. Is there any other all resistances gear that I have equipped, or not, that I have in my inventory right now? I don't see that I do. Okay. So, let's take a look at our resistance gear. You have 70. So lowest is still Quartal. Let's get Quartal up. Which piece is best for Quartal? Quartal is a melee DPS. So as a melee DPS, I think I want... Okay, again, personality. We're just going to slap this on you. Okay. As a melee DPS, I think we want this more than anything else. We're going to put that on you. How's our resistance now? You're now at 66. Honestly, I might end up just having to give you all of the resistance gear, funnily enough, because your resists are kind of garbage. Like, I just need so much earth resistance to catch up. I could. I can't. No, I can't get rid of this. So that is the appropriate character to be using that right now, I think. Yes. Okay. You don't have anywhere near 100%, right? Yeah. So Earth resists. So spell points and regen over time. We're gonna give this to you. Luck, regen, spell points over time. We're gonna give this to you as well. Okay, so everybody has at least 70% Earth resistance. I think that's a big upgrade over before. I think before we had some characters that had basically nothing. So now's the point where we look at our big ticket items that have a lot of value. This is a fairly high tier item. It has 15 luck and might. And I think we give that to you. And might. Oh, we have another Earth Resistance piece here. This is an Earth Resistance piece that gives certain stats that I want. So there we go. So you're at 80%, you're at 85% now. And in terms of resistance specifically to Earth, though, I think this actually is going to make a pretty big difference. Our durability against the specific enemies that we're facing right now. You have fairly weak durability. I think I'm going to give you the... Just sort of generically, I'm going to give you some might and endurance gear. There's might, int, and personality. And a bunch of spell points. I'm going to give this to... You know what? No, it has might. I'm going to give it to you. So I think we're done with this character for now. We still have 2... This gives int and personality and just HP. Let's give that to you. And anything else that gives us something that we just flat out need. This is might and personality. It's a lot of might. I am willing to just throw this on because the values are so much higher than most of the stuff over here. This is speed, accuracy, might, and endurance. And accuracy, we have 20 speed and accuracy on this, along with some resists. So this is plus 20 to 2 stats. We have 20 might and endurance. How's your might and endurance right now? Your endurance is kind of garbage. Yeah, we should get some more endurance gear actually on you. Preferably. You actually have a huge amount of endurance, right? Yeah, she has a huge endurance pool. I'm actually going to give her this because I don't really need the speed for what I'm doing right now. But the having a large endurance pool means that we have a bigger multiplier on the values there. I'm going to give you this as well, I think. Call it a day. Maybe I should have done that. So might and endurance, accuracy, water resistance. Let's do it. Anything else that we need to do? Oh god, Comoniton exists. I forgot Comoniton even exists. Okay. So you are, funnily enough, pretty decently positioned without me needing to invest basically anything into you. I completely forgot about Comoniton. Let's see. We had something that inflicted poison on me. So, anything that what do we want to do with you? I'll give you this. I will give, honestly, I think I might want to give this to, no. I'm going to give this to you. Keep it in play. I'm going to give you this because it's got pretty high stats on it. And we're going to give you this. Alright, so I don't think our values have changed that much. We might have had a pretty decent drop in the DPS value for Kamanaton. Also, Kamanaton's endurance is now complete garbage. That's certainly something to work on, especially for one of the characters who regenerates. But I'm not going to worry about it too much because I think we have done enough to... Do I want to level once? To further maximize my odds of being able to do much here. Doesn't give me access to any new gear. But I think we do it anyway. We're leveling up. And now we are going to go to the south side of this zone to pick up a thing, and then we're gonna adjust our spells. We're gonna adjust what buffs we're maintaining because I don't know which ones we have. We already have Earth Resistance cast, which is a critically important spell. But we're basically just going to make 3 pieces of armor over here. I don't remember which one is the armor. Looks like it's you. So, any other or in play? I think it's just the 3. Okay.
Let's leave it behind.
Okay, these can all be sold, but I just want to get rid of the ore and make use of it before I forget about it. Play the flute. I need to find the flute. It's in your inventory still, I think. Yep. Let's move the gong to this inventory as well. Okay. So, I've restructured my gear setup a little bit in a way that will hopefully be helpful. This is interesting. Unfortunately, I can't wear plate on the person I have focused on int right now. It's okay. Yeah, I just wish that you could keep the Chime of Harmony without, while turning in the quest, or that it was like duplicated somewhere else. Okay. Oh. Before we pop in, let's take a look at our buffs. We have Preservation cast with Sortira. I think that makes sense. We do not have Heroism. We don't have Body Resistance. How much are we healing for? 93. Is that... That's Remove Curse, I think, yes. Okay, so Remove Curse is my default heal. We have 40% mana left. So, unfortunately, there's not a huge amount that I could cast other than... It would be nice to cast Fate. We need to keep... We don't need Stone Skin active anymore. Because I think these do exclusively earth damage. I don't think... I guess maybe the blades do, but the AoE is the only thing that I actually give a shit about. Do I want... I don't have Heroism active. Which is kind of a big deal. Oh! Shield. We're casting Shield instead. Okay, so... That's done. So we have Earth Resistance and Shield. We have 30% available, which is enough to get us a Resist, but not enough to get us anything more active than a Resist. And nobody else can cast these, so there's really not a lot I can do with that character. I could put Fate on if I wanted, But if I do that, I'm significantly weakening my ability to heal.
Ready.
But it might make sense to do it anyway. Because if I do this, then we are going to rely on the regen healing. And we're going to basically try to do like maximum DPS and see how things go. Okay, that's pretty promising.
Identify that.
That was not that much damage, honestly. What? Why can't I? Oh, wait. What do you have? Let's see. Is it you? Oh.
Yes.
I set. Did I set Fate as my ready spell? Is that what I did? Mistakes were made. So I could have Fate on this instead. I'm not sure if that's worthwhile compared to the extra mana.
I get that wasn't so bad.
Okay, nothing there. Okay, and that... I think they can hit me with physical attacks if they use melee attacks. So let's pop in here again. Okay, I need to reload so that I can set my ready spell appropriately, because I don't know what the fuck I did.
Ready.
Okay. Are we going to set Fate on? Let's set Fate on. Just make a couple of attempts with Fate. See if we can get sufficient DPS out. I'm going to try to hit the lower targets again. See if I can burn through these like low-tier boulders at the beginning. And we can burn through them pretty fast. We haven't killed any by doing that. But you know what? I can also turn Fate off, because I don't need to heal in combat. I don't know how long it's going to take to get a heal off. There we go. I think this is actually going to be maybe okay. I'm doing much more damage. Well, the Fate... It's variable, right? Because Fate doesn't directly increase the damage, it increases crit chance. And since I have such short windows, the variance there is going to be really high regardless. But it should increase my damage overall by a pretty considerable margin, yes. The, I think I might have killed one there. And the fact that I can just disable the buff to when I'm doing the healing cycle is going to make it worthwhile, definitely. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to impact my... Over the course of several, like, things, it's definitely going to impact it. I just meant that because of how high the variance is, in, like, the one instance that we did there, it wouldn't have been sufficient to, like, guarantee that it had much of an impact, because it's just variance on the variance too high. So we've killed one of them. Honestly, we could have actually pulled out there. What we're going to do is we're going to kill one more little one here. Oh, hey, Astro Kitty. And once we have killed one more of these little ones, we can actually go for it. Funnily enough, I was thinking that we were going to have a very small difference, and that it was I basically still was just going to get plowed in the face by these things. Honestly, that was a pretty big difference, both in terms of the overall damage output that we did in a window, as well as in terms of the survivability that we have. We were getting blown apart before. We did not invest our skill points, actually, no. We're going to put another point in staff, And we will put nothing in for you. We'll put a point in meditation. I'm gonna get meditation up to 10, I think. You will hold off, maybe. You know what? I'll put a point in Arms Master. Let's do it. It's not super impactful right this moment, but overall is good. This gives me life leech, gives me reduced physical damage. I think I'm going to get the 2 other spell skills higher. At the very least, I'm going to get Unholy up a little bit, because this gives me reduced magic damage taken. So that's just straight up mitigation in addition to the damage output. As for you, I don't have a strong idea of what I want for you. Honestly. I'm going to hold off on putting any points in for you. I'll probably end up investing in Chain. And I could walk away and save right now if I wanted. And that's probably what I should do. Alright, we're going to recast this. Okay. That was really unfortunate. Ooh, boy. I think I'm splitting my damage somewhat over there now. So I'll need to pay a bit closer attention to how I'm hovering the cursor, because I think that the cursor has been moving around quite a bit. This is a very sort of weird place to put it. I'm going to put it down lower to try to focus on the targets I want. But yeah, hopefully we can burn through some of these weaker enemies and then move on to the bigger fight. And then, of course... Okay, we're going to try to burn down this one. Okay, that one's toast. We're alive. Yeah, Sortira, I was worried was going to be less tanky because I've invested so much into getting the other characters to have a little bit more durability when I was moving around my stuff. But Sortira, I think, is also tankier. I think everybody is tankier than we were just now. We've distributed all of our Earth Resistance accessories and have made our lives better as a result of that. Okay, this is full HP. These are all... It looks to me, offhand, and I'm just going to take this on faith. We're going to walk outside and save, because I think that we actually were pretty much single-handedly focusing that one target. And I don't think we got that much damage into anything else. So what we're going to do is get the save in, pop back in, and we're going to try to burn down the big target now. And I'm a little concerned because I think there might only be one. And if there's only one really big one, that's a concern for me. I'm just going to reload this. That was a terrible first opening bit. And once we've cleared this one out, we won't have to worry about like weird like damage coming out from like random angles anymore.
I fixed it.
Oh, we don't have Fate active. Let's see here. Crit chance by 5. That's 0.1 per skill level. So every 10 is an extra player. Spirit is definitely going to be worth investing in as a skill. And I will probably do it with my Paladin, because who else is going to invest into. Why am I dealing so little damage right now? Alright. But yeah, the other thing is that Cortal, who previously was very squishy, is now way tankier. I think before Cortal had maybe like 50% earth resistance or something crazy like that, just incredibly low. So we should be able to handle this this fight here, but again, we've got multiple fights here. This is by far the easiest pack to deal with. The others are way worse. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Okay, that one died. Or are we gonna die? We did not. Oh. We went 2-0, but didn't go low enough to actually fall over dead. Whew, boy. That's pretty clutch. Okay, so the big one's down. Is that the only big one? I guess we'll find out. Okay. And I think that was... Yeah, the damage was pretty fixated into that one. We're going to go save. And then we should be able to go clear those other two safely. They can't AoE, and I don't think that they can do that much damage to Sortira, so unless we get like a crazy amount of hyperfixation into Sortira, I think we're pretty fine to just brute force these down.
I'm badly hurt.
And looks like there's 3 of them. They are hitting pretty hard, but honestly just not hard enough. So, next is clearing out these. So now there's only 2 left. And we're not going to be brute forcing this way with the other packs. We're going to have to basically jump in and then jump out. The hope is that we consistently can without getting insta-gipped, which I don't know if that's actually a thing that I can expect or not. Okay. So we've cleared this pack and start healing up. I guess I should probably turn off Fate for right now. Then we can pop down here. Get some heals. Yep, that's what we're doing. We're going out and saving. You know, great idea. That sounds like an excellent plan. Alright, we only have 2 packs left in this dungeon. So, with only 2 packs left, we can decide which one we're going to try for. I'm actually going to try for this pack first. I think this is the technically harder pack between the 2 of them. And I think I'm going to swap.
Yes.
Can you cast a single heal this way? No, I don't think so.
Ready.
I believe as long as we're in this exact spot, we're not going to get hit. However, every time we expose ourselves, we're not just risking getting hit while we're out there. We're also risking that one of those projectiles will come at a different angle
What is it?
when we go out, and thus kill us when we are back in cover. So I think I want to target the one on my left there. Okay, we managed to not take a hit. Okay, unfortunately the third one came out at basically the same time the other two did. My intention with this,
Can't identify.
which seems to be working okay, is to wait for the first two shots to come out at the same time-ish, and then when two of those come out at the same time, I basically look at them pass, and then there's only the potential for one of them to shoot a projectile at me in the immediate follow-up. And if I can get one of these down, this gets a lot safer. That was all. That was actually all three. But you see that, like, the one that I'm hitting, because of the way that the thing works, I'm pretty sure that boulders don't have a hit stun animation, but they still immediately get their recovery after their hit stun animation's over. So they can basically immediately start attacking me if I hit them. Oh, I thought I hit them. Yeah, that's what we were looking for, and I think we just killed one.
I don't know.
Maybe not. We must have gotten hit by a rock. I thought we had done the thing, but we have not, I don't think. I think we're... And that's scary, because we got under half life on Sortira from that. It's honestly tempting to do a save right here, but I feel like that would be not in keeping with... I should have gone right there. I had the opportunity to. It's an okay window. Okay, that was a perfect window. That thing is fucking venomous. I don't know if I can get this off in time, but we're gonna try. I don't have enough spell points. Oh god. Okay, you're not envenomed. We're fine with that on that front. Oops. Disable this buff. Okay. Whew. We still have two of them left. So the question is it safer
I've never seen
to
one.
try to clear these out? But yeah, it wasn't an actual venomous boulder, it wasn't a boss. It was, it was a normal one that just had the status effect. Okay. Holy shit. We're gonna wait a little bit. I don't have to expose myself that much to hit this one.
I've never seen
I might actually not have to expose myself at all. But I'm afraid to do a small movement. Okay. That one's toast. I think that's 2 of the things that can hurl rocks at me. Oh boy. It makes such a huge difference. Just being able to survive a couple of hits makes an enormous difference in this kind of a situation where the enemies are just
Let's fight.
like insta-giving. So this is definitely a lower tier. So the top tier is the furthest back, I believe. I think I'm actually not going to turn Thinger back on. I think I might just try to run by. I'm going to try to run by right now. Okay.
Ah, come on.
We got out. So, that's 2 of the top tier enemies in that pack dealt with. We now just have 1 left, I think, alongside some weaker enemies. So, we are going to basically set up the same thing, where we're just going to hide in this corner.
What is it?
Whoa, that thing's already at half life. Let's go. Let's price that maybe. Okay, that's another one down.
I don't know.
Let's turn this off and start. We're gonna heal ourselves back up pretty much to full. No reason to do anything too risky here. What is the half-life of a rock? Well, we've established that they don't move, which also means that they can't eject particles. So rocks are perpetual. They are unmoving and ever-changing. Yes? I think that might have been the top tier. We might have no more boulders coming at us. Okay. We are strangely in the green, which I would not have expected. We are going to go save, then we will loot the rest of the items from that chest once we've saved. And we've now cleared the room that is the second most troublesome, probably. It's tempting to think of that as the most troublesome room because I think that room might have had the most number of, like, total enemies in play. I suspect that I'm going to wish I was back in that room with that pretty convenient, not perfect, but at least semi-functional means of mitigating enemy damage by the time I finished with this other one. Okay, I did in fact loot everything from there. We are not going to go this way. We're going to come around this way. Let's make sure that we've looted all these, which we have. But we're almost done here. And once we finish this, we'll have, I think, the bulk of the dangerous stuff done until we get to Talia, which will be full of dangerous shit. That sucks quite a bit. Okay.
It's up to me.
Okay. So, I was mostly just doing that because I didn't like the opening that I got. So the corner there sucks. The corner there sucks hard. I also cannot just run through. Just running through is also unsafe, which is not surprising, but it's a piece of information. So we're going to try to get ourselves a little bit more stuff going here. Okay. Okay, that one is actually lower than I would have expected. Okay. That could have been really bad for me. And we have all this food, I'm going to make use of it. Because of the fact that we know that this is a really, really nasty setup, we are literally just going to walk over here and save over here. Whoa. I accidentally grabbed my hair tie by like a strand of hair that was attached to it and like flung it at myself. It scared the shit out of me because I'm like, what the hell just hit me? Okay. And set up this, start healing up again. But yeah, once we've gotten the first of these enemies down, I think we're going to be in way, way better shape. So this isn't going to take too long. It turns out that the ultimate boss is the inventory boss. The inventory boss giveth, and the inventory boss taketh away, you know? Legendary power saving us from lethal damage is convenient. It would be nice to have that on someone who benefits a bit more from it, but that's fine. My hope here is that one more round of this will get the job done, but I don't expect that it will. You were at -10. That was a kill, right? Yeah. So that happened because I killed an enemy, and Sortira just slightly went unconscious, which just caused the wipe. Very sad. Very sad. A little bit of HP on Sortira makes a very big difference. Okay. That was a pretty big hit. So we are going to go restore our stuff. Hopefully that is at, like, I don't know, like a third of its HP bar gone. I would imagine that it's not going to be at half yet. It could be at half, because, I mean, 2k is a pretty big hit, and I'm often hitting these for very little damage. So... what am I doing? Castings. Okay. I don't know how much like max HP we actually have. I think the optimal play here is probably to not jump in if they shoot a rock during the initial volley. So rather than the other one where I'm waiting for a rock to come out, I might actually prefer to wait until they don't rock, because the rocks are going to ricochet back and hit me. Okay, the explosion was one of the top tiers, I believe. So our life should be a lot simpler now. So we can save this. Hey, Malkuth. We're very close. We just cleared out one of the top tier boulders here. So with that cleared, we are very close. Because this is the last pack. You know, doing some inventory management, it turns out, can be very beneficial to your overall survivability. Turns out that inventory boss, kind of important. No regenerating boulder this time, no. We did get some really nasty setups here, though. So there is that. The thing is, honestly, the regenerating boulder would have been... I can't even imagine having fought the regenerating boulder on this file. Because on the previous file, I could save after every pull. I can't do that on this. I can only save when I kill an enemy, right? I mean, I can save a couple of times in between, but I can only save periodically. I can't save for every pull. And given how badly I was doing the previous time, I don't think well, I think this party could probably handle it. It would just take an eternity to clear the regenerator. I think they wouldn't be able to handle it because there would be a boss, so the boss would be hitting hard enough to one-shot Sortira. So no, because of the fact that that would be a boss, I think any boss in any of these packs that I'm dealing with right now would actually have been potentially pretty much unclearable. Just because they hit so hard and there's no way to get melee range on them from safety. If I could just peek out of this corner and just shoot arrows or spells at it from here and then immediately dive back behind the corner, I could do basically the same thing that I do with the corner plays in melee, right? But I can't do that with, my rule set, obviously. We'd be breaking the rules. So yeah, I don't know how I would have handled that. If one of these rocks was a boss, I'd be very deeply within the shit. Is that an idea? Anyway. Okay. I think there's only one more of these in here. I could be wrong. It's hard to say. They have such a short cooldown. You want me to go save again? But I've done nothing but split damage between 6 targets. You think I deserve to save? I don't approve. I have strong disapproval of this behavior. Saving when all the enemies are half dead, so that... Wow. See? That's punishment. That's punishment for our sins. Me defeating the inventory boss is going to be like, okay, you deserve to do whatever you want for the rest of the playthrough because you beat the inventory boss once. We're so proud of you. You did it, Ark. You sold all the bullshit. Except the bullshit that you didn't sell. But, you know, we'll ignore that part. I am actually doing a legitimately very bad job of spreading my damage out here. Since the damage is actually spread so much at this point that I am worried that I'm going to kill 2 of them and die instantly. Like, that I'm going to kill 2 in a pack at the same time, basically, and just die. I've done a terrible job here. How dare you? Okay. I don't know if it's a meme in general circles, but, like, you did it, Joe, you answered all the questions, is, like, a permanent meme in my head. Like, anytime there's, like, damning with faint praise, like, it just immediately comes into my mind. I don't know if it'll ever leave. I don't know if I'm ever going to be... I'm not going to go into the rock blast that I know is going to hit me. Okay, that could hit me anyway. Okay, we killed 1. We didn't die. Yeah. After the debate, which was so legendarily bad that the, like, entire, like, electoral institution rose up in a completely unprecedented way to replace the sitting president on the ballot. Like, legitimately, like, actually unprecedented. Nothing like this has ever happened before, I don't think, in American politics. And, after the debate, he was at some, like, after-party thing, and someone was like, you know, speaking into the, like, I don't know if it was his wife or if it was just, like, a campaign organizer or something. I don't know who it was. But, you'd think that I would recognize the First Lady, but no, I don't. She looks like a generic white woman. It came up to him and went, you know, it was probably Joe. I just didn't recognize her at the time. And she goes up and she's like, you did it, Joe. You answered all the questions. And it was the most, like, talking to it, like, the tone of it, everything about the way that it was delivered and the things that was being said was like you're talking to a toddler. It was so bad. Like, honestly, that was more memorable than any of the specific bad stuff from the debate itself. Not because it was that bad, right? Like, it was just, like, someone trying to show support. But it was like, oh man, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. Anyway, so that lives rent-free in my head from now on. And that's just the world that we live in. I was shocked and amazed when action was actually taken after that debate performance, because I was like, okay, well, we're just fucked. And I was like, okay, never mind. Actually,
I don't know.
You know, people are occasionally capable of taking some action that might be useful. Well, I killed the boulder and killed myself at the same time, you know? Sometimes you live and learn, sometimes you die and learn. Or sometimes you die and don't learn, because that's what we're doing next. Okay, we got the boulder down. There we go. Let's go. Also, I figured out how to avoid getting gibbed by the boulders that are coming in preemptively, I think. Because the trajectory is pretty set. So if I go to where I just was, I think I'll be mostly okay. And I think we can actually just walk outside and save now if we want. I think we've cleared 2 of the big ones, maybe? So it's going to be dangerous to. We can just save in here. It doesn't matter. We don't need to go outside to save if we are this close to winning. Okay, we've got 1 more down, and God, are these? We know at least one of these is big, and I think there's still 2 in that pack. It looks like there's 2 of the same size in this pack. It was pretty rough. It was mostly, it wasn't like unexpected or anything. It was rough because of the fact that it's like everyone knew this was like gonna happen eventually. And then, like, there's this degree of, like, cognitive dissonance where you're like, okay, well, I know it's that bad, but I haven't seen visibly that it's that bad yet, if that makes any sense. And, you know, everyone is acting like it's that bad, but nobody's willing to say it's that bad, right? And like if you were to watch like the news people talk who have insider information but can't talk about all the insider information publicly, they would say things that were kind of like contingent on the idea that it was that bad since like January. Like the amount of doomering that was going on in the American media was truly mind-boggling. Because everyone behind the scenes knew what was going on, but nobody could talk about it publicly because no one was willing to talk about it publicly, right? You don't have any sources who are willing to talk about this in public, and if you do talk about it, people are going to accuse you of trying to get Trump elected, this, that, or the other thing, because Biden refuses to do what he said he was going to do and just drop out, which was what he promised back in 2000. I mean, he didn't promise it. He heavily implied he was going to be a one-term president back when he ran. He referred to himself as a transition candidate for a reason. That wasn't an accident. But anyway, so like lots of people knew that something like that was coming down the line eventually. And then it happened and everything went to shit. But I think that the reason that the transition went as smoothly as it did was probably that, honestly, everybody knew that it was going to happen eventually. And nobody wanted to be the first person to say anything. But everyone knew that eventually someone was going to have to. So they were making steps behind the scenes pretty much probably for over a year before it happened. But at any rate, we have 2 big rocks to deal with. Yeah. That honestly, that has kind of been like the hallmark of the Biden presidency to a large degree, is that like the kind of like there's this association with Donald Trump of like the like post-fact, you know, dynamic. And it is very associated with him because he just is continuously lying about basically everything. He's like a pathological liar, right? He just can't stop himself from making random shit up. But there's been like a very strong amount of really blatant and deliberate lying coming out of the Biden administration that has been, honestly, I think, damaging to, like, I would actually put it on par with probably Bush, right? Like, it's like Bush era, like Dick Cheney levels of lies about the wars that they wanted to engage in. That kind of stuff going on in the Biden administration, like with foreign policy in particular, right? Obviously, like the State Department has been lying constantly, and the most brazen, honestly, the most brazen lying from the State Department that I think I've ever seen. Maybe the war in Iraq had more brazen lying in it, but I don't remember seeing anything as brazen as what the State Department's been saying. Like the State Department saying, like, you know, oh yeah, oh the tanks. No, I don't. You know, is a major military operation when a tank drives through a place, and it's like a tank doesn't drive through a place. They're supported by stuff. Anyway, like, really, the Rafa thing was, like, wild. And, you know, like, Bush lied about the casus belli to get into a war. The Biden administration has been lying every single time the State Department goes up to talk about the actual circumstances of what's actually happening at all times in a way that is, like, really remarkable. And again, like, you can't compare, like, a State Department under, like, a fascist like Donald Trump to, like, someone who is, you know, fundamentally a liberal, right? They believe in, you know, capitalism and liberal democracy. Like, you can't, like, directly compare those two because they're not, like, it's not a valid comparison, right? Like, obviously Trump doesn't even care that whether he's telling the truth or not. That's a totally different dynamic than you get with, like, your standard, like, neocon, you know, war criminal. And it is interesting to see, like, the kind of, like, really egregious shit that we're getting out of the U.S. State Department coming out of a Democratic administration. Like, did Clinton lie this much about, like, was the Gulf War Clinton? God, my country goes to war a lot. Anyway, I don't think the Biden lying is typical empire lying. Like, it's typical empire lying if you're talking about, like, the Russian Empire, but the American Empire doesn't usually have to lie this much. Like, the way that, like, America prosecutes its wars is bad and imperialistic, right? But it's not, like, Russian levels of bad. They never have to justify, like, oh, why did we put a bunch of landmines in a nuclear reactor, right? That's not a thing that the U.S. State Department is meant to have to justify, because the U.S. military doesn't do that. There's a bunch of bad shit that they do, but the scale of the bad stuff that the American military will do versus the kind of stuff that, like, the Russian military is willing to do, the default behavior of the Russian military is all war crimes all the time, right? Like, you know, when America decides that it's going to bomb a wedding, that's newsworthy. That's noteworthy that America bombed a wedding. That's Tuesday in Ukraine, right? Like, that is every single day. It's not even Tuesday. It's every day of the week, right? Like, that's just the default behavior, because their actual war doctrine is, we are going to fire as many shells into the city as humanly possible and blow up as much infrastructure as possible. Like, that, so that kind of lying is not something that America typically has to do, because it's the most powerful military in the world, and they can afford to do things, you know, they can afford to do terrible things in a slightly less terrible way than others do. and they have a political incentive to do so. They have a political architecture and incentive structure there, right? Whereas like an authoritarian state like Russia doesn't have any democratic pushback to war crimes. And Israel doesn't have any democratic pushback to war crimes because the average Israeli is genocidal. So there's an argument to be said that the average like Gazan is genocidal as well, except the average Gazan has absolutely no power, so it doesn't matter what their personal mental state is. They don't have the power to do anything other than die. So but anyway, the dynamic is just very different. So as America is defending a foreign military, like as the State Department is having to defend a foreign military that does not abide by any of the kinds of shit that the American military does, which again, American military is already bad, right? They already do a bunch of war crimes and do a bunch of bad shit. But the scale of difference is very massive. So it's like the American State Department is now defending the war crimes functionally of a nation like Russia. Like they're trying to defend against the war crimes of a state that like delights in committing war crimes in a way that like is completely outside, like it's beyond the pale for like the average like I think basically almost any Western observer to like comprehend. Like if you look at, there's such a huge difference between Israeli internal media and Israeli external media. Israel's supposed to be a military base for America in the Middle East, but it's not a very effective one. It's kind of like saying that like North Korea is a Chinese military base. And it's like, yes, but they're not a Chinese military base that's really meaningfully under the control of China. They're like a very troublesome pain in the ass that China has to deal with constantly, that's constantly causing problems for them that they do not even really like. And so like they exist to serve a geopolitical interest, but how much they actually do serve that geopolitical interest is really up for debate. They don't serve the job that they're meant to do very effectively because they're just... It turns out that like a 19th century settler colonial state in like 2024 is a huge liability, like
I've never seen one before.
from an international perspective, and you don't want to have one of those as one of your like, you know what I mean? And it's like, imagine if Guantanamo Bay was a country, and that's the relationship that America kind of has to Israel. Like, I think that's an apt descriptor because it's not even really a military base; it's more like a concentration camp. So, like, Israel, I think, is like the Guantanamo Bay of the Middle East, and it's unfortunately governed by the guards. It's themselves, and the guards of this like military torture base have nuclear weapons. Right, like if you gave Guantanamo Bay an entire nation to, like if Guantanamo Bay took over Cuba, right? That's how I would describe it. If Guantanamo Bay took over Cuba, that would be Israel. Is if you took the guards of Guantanamo Bay
That wasn't so bad.
and you gave them control of the entirety of Cuba, and you gave them nukes. And even then it wouldn't be quite the same because Cuba is an island that is not in fact surrounded by, you know, a bunch of minor and major powers. And honestly, Guantanamo Bay doesn't really... I don't know that people from Cuba are necessarily the prime demographic to be sent to Guantanamo Bay. So there are still differences, but I think that the Guantanamo Bay comparison is probably very apt. Of like, yes, this is like a Guantanamo Bay if we if we gave them nukes. Anyway, it's very depressing that the world is in the state that it is, and we can only hope that one day it will start going better. And well, we can do more than hope. We can also act to make it happen. I think that is like, isn't that kind of like a pseudo slur? Because like I think people would be referred to as Jewish, referring to someone as like a Jew, I think is pretty well within the confines of like anti-Semitic shit. Like I don't like. There's a big difference between saying like a Jewish person and saying a Jew. Those are very different tones to them. I don't know that it's a like. I don't know that it's a slur, but also there's other slurs that are used in community occasionally. That like obviously there are other things that are slurs that have been at least partially reclaimed. I don't know if I would necessarily consider it a slur without doing more research, but I would say that my experience is people who use it as a word are very likely anti-Semitic. Like legitimately, that's something that I would see more often in a racist tirade than I would see like in normal conversation. But I've also seen people like Jon Stewart use it, right? But he's Jewish; he gets passed. But no, so I don't know that it is I don't know that I would say that it's a slur. It may well be. I don't know if it is in certain regions, but it's definitely something that you would need to know a person. And honestly, I don't even know that that's it. It's the kind of thing where it wouldn't ping on my radar unless someone's tone wasn't super clear. But hey, we go. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to have. Being an ethnic minority is not easy. And there are a lot of problems that are unique to certain ethnic communities that they have on their own that I'm not really willing to talk about because they're not important compared to the kinds of problems that you have in like the broader power structures. But like it's difficult. I have a very large degree of sympathy for the classifications of problems that you run into if like 70% of the most powerful people in the world want you dead, right? Like want you evaporated from existence. Like it's kind of like trauma induces trauma to a degree where it's like, there are things that I am willing to overlook in a community in terms of like reactionary sentiment. Obviously, like Zionism and like Israel's whole deal is beyond the pale. That's not what I'm talking about. But in terms of like a lot of the, I don't know how to describe maybe enclavism, but like there's certain behaviors that I think of as being not terribly productive, but I also don't And I'm not gonna judge about it. Where it's like people are, you're looking out for your own because everybody else kind of wants to fuck you over. Yeah, tribalism, that kind of thing is like, there's some degree of tribalism when society as a whole hates you. You have a responsibility to your group that, like, as an example, someone like this doesn't have a responsibility to, like, I don't have a responsibility to look out for the white race. The white race is doing fine. They're fine. I don't have a responsibility I don't have a special responsibility to white people in my area to warn them about, like, which cops might just shoot me. Which people, which, like, stores will do, like, pull weird shit. Like, what kind, like, who's gonna try to, like, entrap me to, like, get me, to get me hurt, right? That it's very important for people of groups that are persecuted, and this is basically most, non-white men, to have internal communities that they can talk amongst themselves and share the actual threats to their lives, livelihoods, etc. That's a real thing that is necessary because people suck and refuse to be good to each other. And it sucks that that's necessary because those same whisper networks, or however you want to describe it, because it depends on, like, what group. Like, whisper networks is something that's very much associated with women, right? Is like, that's a thing that's associated with women. It's kind of the same deal, right? But that kind of stuff comes with certain types of socialization that are, generally speaking, not super hot. But it's kind of like, it's not B time. We're actually done here. We're actually leaving. We're heading over to do the Endless Arena. We're going to do one more round of that, and then we will there. Let's see. But yeah, bear in mind also, I'm not justifying specific interpersonally bad behavior based off of generalized trends. I'm saying the generalized trends matter in the broad scale. Interpersonally, if someone's being a dick to you, then get rid of them, drop them. You have no need. You do not owe anybody your time. Whether they're your family or not. Let's see. What am I doing? Yes, this is Durgerdun. We did not do the B place yet, but what we're doing this run, we're doing a max bolster run. So what we're doing is every area that we do, we are going to the next map. Basically, we're only going to the lowest continent in the levels gained thing each time we clear a map. Not like a world map, but like an individual area map. Each individual area map, we're switching to a different continent unless we did like a particularly weak place and it didn't push us above the others, which just happened in my Magic 7. So right now where we're heading is Tatalia, because we finished Arathia and Antagaric is the next place on the list. But yeah, we haven't done the Bs yet. I figured that the Durgar dungeon was probably the highest level dungeon. And we can check. Let's do this now, actually, before we... Yeah, it's Monday, so it's not like we need to anyway. We're going to pop over to Daggerwound Island quick and check... Can I get this done? Not everybody can get this done right now without swapping my gear around. I need to save under a different save file. But we'll see how it goes. Let's see.
Come aboard! Anchors away!
And
Tis but a scratch. Ow. Tis but a scratch.
why would I jump and then try to jump? Alright, so we're checking basically whether we can do the Balthazar thing. This is mystical medicine. What's this thing? Okay. The do we have the axe? Okay, we cannot do this. We need the quest in order to get the certification. Unfortunately, it's not a huge deal because like we have basically free travel right now. But all right, we're gonna wait 6 days to get to Sunday, and then we will.
A quiet welcome. 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 A quiet room, you say?
No suspicion. Okay.
Need a coat?
We're popping into the arena. We actually have a set of buffs that is not necessarily appropriate for this, but we're going to find out what we're facing, and we're going to try to beat it. Right, it's the crossbows, which are physical. We're swapping off of shield, we're swapping back to stone skin, and I think these do have like ranged attacks, but they do have melee AI as well. So they're going to tend to just like all jump on top of me here. Okay. Please. Alright, this is too many of them, I think. I'm gonna jump down. Oh god. Concerns? I'm gonna get overwhelmed here. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go. I completely forgot about that mechanic. The tipping the barkeep mechanic? I completely forgot that existed.
Need a coach?
Do they just give you like hints about quests or something?
What lies ahead?
Like I like barely read the thing. Tip the barkeep is a.
This one's all right.
Tipping? That's a thing people do. Okay. Let's try this one more time. I might not need to do it more than one more time though, honestly, because I was getting overwhelmed without really a lot of high tiers there. So we'll have to see how this goes.
That wasn't so bad.
I think the issue is that my DPS is just terrible. As we get higher level, we have a fairly decent amount of durability, but we just don't have the damage output for right now. That's going to start to improve as we finish up to Talia. Let's take a look here. We're going to be going to 8 pretty quickly. Again, because we have like... Yeah. So we're going to have another dungeon to do in 8, which is probably the Ogre dungeon. Yeah, I think the ogre dungeon is the next one. Oh, actually, wait. Before I can leave, we need to do the other thing. We have the orb, right? I think she gave me an orb that I could communicate with her using. Unless it's uncharged. Didn't she give me something like that when we... Yes. So I believe this charged connector stone will allow me to turn this in. Okay, never mind. We need to reload because I didn't have the right thing in my inventory. Bong. Alright, where's the infused rod? There it is. Okay, perfect. So the other thing that we can test here is, does that count as quest experience for this place? It does, right? We were at 18 point something, and now we're at 19.26. So that's another piece of information, is that I don't, well, it might just be tied to the fact that it's a quest for this continent, now that I think about it. It is literally this continent's quest, but that's fine. Either way. Let's see, we need to get... Let's see. I can test, but I'll test it later with the other ones, because I'm lazy. I want to, like... I've had such a slow start that I kind of just want to go in, but you know, you're right. I should just do it. I should just load my autosave and let's check the thing. We can add it to the document. We can do all the things. We can be the change we want to be in the world. That's a thing we could technically do, I suppose. Alright, let's go to Might Magic 7. We will see if we can add levels to Might Magic 7 just by standing there when we turn in. It's the right thing to do. It's correct. Get confirmation on that. The question that I had was mostly whether it would give me any experience at all for any of the bolsters. Yep. I already knew, because I knew which one was the top. So we have confirmation that you can choose where to deposit that experience. You can choose where to deposit it. So depositing it in 8 is, I think, the appropriate thing for us to do right now. But depending on the way that everything plays out later on, we can definitely tinker with that. So but that's very good to know. Let's see here. So we need to go to Arathia. It's currently what, Sunday? So we're going to Arathia. We're not going to try to do the normal arena because it's too hard. It's too hard. I know I'm just going to die. So we're not going to go to the normal arena, which is sad, but that's just life right now. That's just our life. I'm really looking forward to getting to Tatalia, because Tatalia is going to unlock quite a few things for us. We have several quests we can turn in. Unfortunately, we're going to need to do... It's going to be a nightmare, that is true. But it's also going to be a nightmare that gives us some very, very big things that we really need. We have 2 characters that promote in Tatalia. And I think I have something akin to a coherent answer to the wine cellar. And I do say something akin to as opposed to actually having one, because I have something akin to an answer to the wine cellar.
Today? The coach leaves right away.
And That's fine. It doesn't matter because it just won't. I can't let it hit me anyway. But the other thing is that we don't need to do any of the dungeons yet. We are just clearing the exterior for now. The other thing that we're doing, though, is we now have access to all of the trainers here, including... Oh, and we have a heroism pedestal. That's very convenient. Including the Arms Master Expert, which will be a pretty sizable boost for us. There's a GM Dagger here, but we already had access to that. And Master Body. It's convenient. Is this the accuracy thing, maybe? 20 air resistance temporary. Not super useful at the moment. But I do think that the Cellar is probably the highest EXP value. No, actually Markham's Estate is. Almost certainly. I'd forgotten. No, the Markham's Estate is definitely the highest EXP. So I was thinking that the Cellar would be because it's higher level and it has a lot of enemies in it. But enemy experience is good. It's not nearly as crazy as the experience you get for turning in 2 quests. Like, I don't think that I'm outperforming 2 quests with the increased density that you have in that quest. I don't think that that's going to happen. The other thing is that we do now have Master Repair, which means that we are done with repair. Heart of the Wood can't be turned in until we choose a side, so it doesn't matter. So basically, that area is a low priority because there's 0 quests that can be turned in there. Because of what we're trying to do with like the bolster stuff, we are trying to get it all like right now. So it's like it has to be something that we can do not necessarily while we're in this, not necessarily in Tatalia, but in Tatalia, Erathia, and Thingamabobber and Harmondale, right? Those 3 locations. So it has to be one of those 3 locations that you do the turn in because those are the only areas I have access to until later. So, but the thing is that Lord Markham's Estate has 2 quests that turn in.
Come in, come in.
Which right away.
Both turn in Erathia,
Come in.
which is where we would be turning in. We go to Erathia before we go to the next continent. So, 100%, that's going to be the first place that we do, which is going to be nice. We might be able to do that pretty quickly. So we have a shift, so we're going to try not to invest too much here. Though shift is pretty expensive to use this early. I'm actually just going to use a reinforced wall. Get ourselves above theirs. And we'll discard the basic wall. And we will use our own thief, which we shouldn't have done actually, because they only had 2 gems, but that's fine. Lose 3 recruits, 2 damage to enemy tower. This is a terrible card to play right now. I'm going to play the Sturdy Wall. Players of the lowest wall lose a dungeon. That's actually really, really good. I'm going to play the Mondo Wall to enable that. This drops their recruit income to 1, which is very, very good for me. Do I want to use the Slasher? Kinda, yeah. It doesn't help me much, but I don't want to spend a bunch of resources that I don't need to spend. We have 11 damage in play right now. I could pump my tower a bit, or my thing a bit. I don't necessarily... This is 18 total. Losing this would be a huge loss for me. I think I'm going to fire Ruby because I'm going to use it eventually anyway. And it's not... I'm not losing a lot by doing that. I'm actually just going to hit Great Wall too. Alright, we have parity if the enemy gets a boost to their magic. I sleep well, live forever and ever. Let's see. +1 to all dungeons is not necessarily optimal for me right now. I'm gonna wait for this. We have 6 recruit loss as an available thing. I don't want to do that, I don't think. I'm gonna toss Matt out as is. We don't need it. We have Lava Jewel available. I'm tempted to use Full Moon. I do have... you know what? If they use a bunch of beasts to damage my wall and stuff like that, that's actually fine for me. I do have Shift. So I'm going to do this because a resource victory here is reasonable. I am in trouble. Did I just use some of my... I did, I think. We have parity, which is useful. We could kill ourselves. Let's not do that. I have lethal on me. Let's see. We can get Spellweavers in play. 6 recruits. If dungeon is less than enemy dungeon, we get dungeon. Do I want to... we don't really need this right now. Do I want to use Power Burn? This is a dumb idea. We're going to do it, but it's a bad idea. I shouldn't do it. Let's see here. It's funny. When I was younger, I always used to do... I always used to use Power Burn basically all the time. And nowadays, I'm much more reticent about using it, which is kind of funny. Because it's like, oh, enemy is less, our dungeon is less than enemy dungeon. Let's use this. So we can Lava Jewel, and we can Succubus. And we can, I should have increased my query. I think I'm mostly going to keep this around 20, and I'll only shift if they use like a dragon or something to drop it to 0. Though apparently I'm going to get a shit ton of damage to my thing. You know what? Let's just do it now. You have 3, I have 28. We can -1 their query. Do this. I think we're probably doing a Bricks win. I feel like that seems like the most reasonable thing for me to do right now. And I should have done this first. Let's see. We've actually burned through that entire wall this quickly. It's pretty wild. But there comes the dragon that I was talking about before. But hey, we can do a -6 wall without losing anything. We could do Tremors without losing anything. We lose against a few bricks, I guess. Which is our win condition, but that's fine. We could also win on a tower victory, but that's less reliable, potentially. I guess it depends on how many bricks I need. We're not going to use the Great Wall. We will not use this, because we need it. We have enough Unicorn, so we'll Unicorn. My hope is that we need 300. If we need 300, then I should... And, you know, I didn't even... We've got their brick... We've got 1 brick income for the enemy now. Let's going fairly well for us so far. We're kind of winning on every front at the moment. Ooh. We're not going to use this because there's no reason to. We're going to drop parity. We don't need it. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so we won here. So the Tatalia victory is done. Is that Stone Skin? Oh, that right there is Stone Skin. So I currently have Shield cast. I don't need to keep it cast, though. And we can go over, get the Stone Skin. And figure out what I want to cast. I guess I'll cast Fate. Do you want to cast Fate? No, I have 60%. We're doing it. I'm going to cast Heroism. I already have Heroism. What am I doing? Okay, Heroism came from the pedestal as well. Do I have another? I could cast Haste. Let's cast Haste. Let's see. We haven't had Haste available this playthrough, basically, because we just don't have enough to maintain it. But very soon we're going to be getting our Thief in play. They'll be able to cast some important buffs.
Can I help you?
And that'll be very useful for us. Do we have... We have Earth Resistance cast. Do we need it cast? Do I take off Earth Resistance in favor of something else? GM Mind. Expert Air. Expert Spear. Okay, we've got Armsmaster Expert now, and apparently we can get Armsmaster Mastery and Grand Mastery in Might Magic 6's Arathia. Or not Arathia, Freehaven. You know, they're basically the same place. If we can get that done, that'll help us a bit. I'm going to ignore the trolls down here for right this moment. We're going to head up north and go to town, check what's there. There might be some new skills that I can pick up, but I think we've already picked up the ones that I'm expecting to get. I'm not going to worry about... Do I need to worry about... realistically, I'm not necessarily sure I can keep the people alive, but that's fine. This is level 63. We're going to see what happens when we try to fight a river troll. And the answer is, it's okay. Actually, that wasn't that bad. That was a tier 2 and a tier 1. We didn't do any attempt to melee kite them. We just brute forced both of them down one by one. And the tier 1 was pretty quick. Tier 2... Ooh, Master Shield is available here. That's a pretty big difference, actually. So, we've got Shield Master now. We've got Plate Master. We're in pretty good shape there. We've got the Missing Link and Training Essentials. We've got the Adventurers in here. Interesting. 20 AC. That's very useful for us right now. And anything else? We can't go into any of the dungeons at the moment. This is the GM Axe is right here. Expert Plate is here, but we already have that. And that is a boss. I don't think we can kite these very effectively. We need to figure out how we're going to handle enemy packs like this. That exploding troll is probably just going to kill us here, because I'm not going to... I'm basically just taking this as an opportunity to think about some stuff. So, I think what we're going to do first... Now that we've come up here and picked up Master Shield, which gives us 8% per point. Where is a good place to fight these trolls? I don't want to pull them into town, which is where the obvious kiting positions would be. I'm going to pop over here and see if there's anything of value to be had on a pedestal up here. Because I think there's like a challenge pedestal thing here. I stand corrected. I guess it's on the other side, question mark. Or maybe I'm just not noticing it. Nope, it's right there. It's not nearly as high up as I thought it was. Contest of accuracy. Everybody's already won this. I wish that there weren't any duplicates of these. That would be a nice thing for the logic to not allow duplicates. Because there's so many possible things to have. Because there's like 4 tiers of challenge, and there's 6 stats. There's nowhere near enough of these in the game to like fill that whole thing. But I think I'm gonna go get the loot first, actually. Let's not cast Water Walking yet. Let's cast Regen. Water Walking. I don't think there's any enemies over by this chest, so we can basically just pop over here, grab the chest, and then we can leave. We can potentially use either the druid thing there, or use the coastline itself as like pseudo strongholds to play from, but we'll see. If we have to do something like that, I'll be fairly disappointed. I think we can probably find a more coherent thing to do than just standing on the coast. Especially because that's not going to help us really with the worst offenders. So we can actually walk there. I didn't realize that you could walk there. Like, I knew that that was there, but I didn't realize at any point that it's like, yeah, you can, that's actually at ground, that's at water level. So you could just walk from the water to the west side there. That's good to know. It very likely won't impact any of my pathing at any point,
Ooh.
but in theory it could. Okay, so you can still cast jump, right? Yes. And so we've got jump cast. We now have the ability to pop over to here. We've got a hardened item potion that I'm not going to pick up because if I don't make the potion, I don't really think I should be using it. Okay, we've got a water resistance ring here, and we have a little bit of a shrine here that we cannot use. But okay. I was hopeful. Okay. And for some reason, I thought this altar had a bunch of enemies near it, but it doesn't seem to. So where can I fight these trolls? Oh boy. Honestly, just breaking through these trolls might in and of itself be a really difficult task. Because we don't have the ability to trivially disengage, because we don't have something like fly. We
could sell it.
don't have the ability to kite them very effectively because they do have ranged attacks. I'm going to try to use Lord Markham's estate. So we're going to fight to the south of this estate for right now, and we're not going to fight to the south of the estate. We are going to immediately
I'm badly hurt.
move into... This is unfortunate. They are not doing what I need them to do.
Someone heal me.
You know what? Can I just fight you from up here? I can fight you from the roof of the estate! Okay. So, as long as I don't get these in front of the estate, I think I'll be okay. They're trying to hit me with projectiles, but they're actually missing. Oh, that one actually hit me, so... I think one of them got in melee range there. They don't have a ton of HP. Okay, so the estate it is. For right now, I think this is how we're going to handle this southern pack. I'm going to go ahead and loot this so that it's not on my radar. We're going to see how this goes. I can try... Nope, not if I get 2 mountains. So, our goal right now is basically and we do have haste active as well. So we're basically just going to try to clear through these.
That wasn't so bad.
Yes.
Which I think is going to work okay. We're going to grab one of these.
Junk.
That is garbage. And we have another pack we're pulling. This is a substantially larger pack. I don't know if that's going to correlate to a significant increase in difficulty. We weren't perfectly protected from their attacks just now.
Got it.
Yeah, some of them can definitely hit me, but I think they're predominantly just hitting me with ranged attacks. So I'm not that concerned about it for right now. So we have our answer for how to deal with these, which should work, I think, reasonably well. And if I get like one of these by itself, I can also try to just like engage with it on its own. The issue with that is that I can't melee kite a enemy that has ranged attacks, realistically.
We got it.
But I don't actually need to. These are not that strong. So if I get smaller pulls, I can probably just kind of brute force them.
I've never seen one.
Okay, we got a couple swamp trolls coming in. Presumably, I'm going to have to...
Got it.
I don't think I'm going to be able to deal with the bosses naturally. Certainly not something like a Leecher boss, I don't think.
I've never seen one.
This one's regenerating, which I guess, you know, that seems appropriate. I'm actually going to I'm going to try to pull a fairly considerable amount of this pack here, just to see what happens. Because I would like to finish this area. It would be my dream if I can get the trolls out here dealt with in a fairly like comfortable manner and get it done quickly. optimally, I'd like to do the Markham estate immediately because I don't think there's any shot that anything else here is going to give me as much experience as completing 2 quests will. None of this shit is anywhere near high enough level to do that. Okay, this is a concern. I might lose some experience here. If I lose experience, I need to reload, right? So we're going to try this one first. Where the fuck are you, buddy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did I not kill it? Oh my god, the archer killed this one. God damn it, we have to reload, I think. So, yeah, we're gonna reload. The archer killed it, so it's over. This is a max bolster run, not a, you know, get some bolster where you can run. Alright, we're going to try... do I want to try to brute force these two? Probably not, right? I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to basically just start beating into this mountain troll and hope that we can kill it before
That was
things go bad. And we did! Okay. The first fight that I did with a single... with a river troll and a Oh shit, I just saved while I was an enemy. Right, it's fine, it's not a big deal. The first time that I was fighting like one of these and one of the weak ones, it was promising, but not so promising that I was like, okay, I can probably do like
I'm badly hurt.
the actual enemies this way. Like do like... Okay, this is a concern. Damn it. I actually got what I needed. I got my mana back, and then I didn't act on it. Okay, we have these immediately jumping us, this is one of the things that I prefer not to have happen. This is direct consequence of the fact that I saved while I was still in the yellow. Concerning? Oh, that's over. There's no shot that all 4 of them are... Okay. So yeah, fighting 2 of these at the same time is not gonna work consistently. And if I do fight them like this, I actually want to dive them as well. That's another component of it. I want to dive toward them because I don't want them getting the ranged attacks off while they're approaching me, and basically reducing the amount of HP that I have to play with before the fight starts. I think we can just save this. Let's see. Okay. We have 2 of the mid-tier here. We might be able to fight them. We might not be able to, because we are starting at a lower HP value. Okay, that's fine.
I'm still standing.
Alright, we're going to save this. Move forward a bit more.
We could sell it.
A normal alloyed shield here.
We could sell
We
it.
have noble plate that's completely unenchanted and thus completely useless. Not even particularly high level, I don't think. I think that's about the same AC value that we have on the plate that Portal has that's like pretty low tier. We have very large upgrades available to us for certain slots. Like, if we can find some good plate armor, that's going to be a life-changing event. Because the people that we have that are dependent on on plate. Not being well served by what they're wearing right now. I think Sortira's is fine actually, but I don't. It's not like amazing or anything. I don't think. Somebody hit me from. Okay, that one's toast. But yeah, the nice thing is that because the manor is blocking line of sight, even though they're within range to aggro on each other, they can't see each other, so they're not aggroing. It's very convenient. We have to get so close to her. Oh my god! Wasn't paying attention.
I'm badly hurt.
Okay. It is nice that they give audio cues when they're about to use attacks, huh? Oh shit! Oh, fuck. Oh, we dead.
Help me.
I was so low, there's no shot. Okay. Oh, wait! No, no! Not again! Not like this! Damn. Not like this. I can't believe I missed the jump twice because I was just too low. What a dope. What a nematode.
Heal me.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Okay. We got the kill. Please don't shoot me. So we don't need to worry about it. They didn't really move very much, so we're probably fine. Keep on keeping on. I wish that I had a better location. Like, I feel like the shrine would be pretty solid, but I don't know if I can pull them. I might be able to just pull them, like, right by all the peasants. They might not interact with the peasants at all. I'm going to find out. We're going to try to pull this entire pack to the shrine. This is a bad idea, but we're going to do it anyway, because it's... because that's how I roll. I like making bad decisions. Bottom of the map. Okay. Okay. And we don't even if they won't attack the peasants, which I don't know whether they will or not. It looks like they aren't actually going after the peasants. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I don't know why they weren't going toward the peasants that came up earlier. They did go after the later ones. It's unusual, but let's see. Anywhere else we could pull them? It would be nice and comfy. I don't think so. I think we just have to use the estate. I think that's just how. Oh, shit! I got another huge pull that I didn't intend this time. Let's see here. I could try this building here, but I don't think it's wise to try to pull them there. I don't think it'll work. Okay. that I can't pull enemies in that large a quantity because inevitably one of them is going to wander around the side. Unfortunately, this pack I don't think wants to aggro on me. That looks like it will. Okay, so why? Wait, why am I?
Ow!
I confused myself. Don't mind me. Why do I have 4? Why do I have 3 enemies in that building? Don't go around the fucking... Oh, god damn it. This guard is gonna actively engage in a way that makes my life harder. Because if they get actively engaged here... Okay, I did not get the kill, they did. I need to reload. God damn it. Oh, this is rough. I could just try kiting around. Oh shit, I pulled a boss. What am I gonna do about this? It's a bad situation. I'm curious about something. I'm gonna try running straight. I want to see
Ow!
if I don't stop moving at all, and I just keep running straight this direction, I feel like I might be able to get them to not aggro on the peasants just by continuing to run. I thought it was strange that they stopped moving when they did. But I did, I did notice the correlation between me stopping and then immediately making a beeline for the peasants. For whatever reason, if I'm far away from them, they don't seem to be retargeting. So I think 2 of them like de-aggroed. Okay. So this building will work. We're going to try to pull the entire pack to this room. I think that this might just get the job done. So we're going to save this under danger because when I re-aggro these, I don't know if they're going to come for me, and it looks like they will. So I'm just going to dive this one. Come on, Tim. Wow, that was a big hit. Wait, what?
I need healing.
Holy shit. I was having way easier time with mountain trolls earlier. Okay. That one was concerning. It's fine. Let's see, it's 12:10. And this one is just approaching straight to us. Love to see it. Yeah, I think this might work. So... okay, that's interesting. I must have hit forward right as I was hitting jump, so I jumped into the very not steep slope. Okay. So we've got that as a option, and hopefully it's not the only thing we can do. I actually don't have to worry about the guards over at this other place, so I'm not going to drag enemies into the town, but I'm not going to worry about like protecting the like guards, right? So I'm going to try to just pull this one to Markham's estate. I don't need to pull it to the other place because it's just the one enemy. Oh shit, I missed the jump. Oh, I'm dead.
I need healing.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we'll be able to handle this leecher, but we will probably be fine as long as I don't miss my jump. And then as long as I don't miss my jump. I was gonna say, and then like have the jumper go down, but honestly, because it's a leecher, it wouldn't have mattered. If anybody else had gotten targeted, that extra damage would have been that would have probably been GG anyway. I am actually just gonna keep pulling this. I'm not gonna try to do Markham's roof there because it's kind of a pain in the ass to pull it there compared to just running straight to the shrine, and I don't think it's gonna take that much longer. So. Double speed. Let's see. This leecher is not hitting us that hard. Now, unfortunately, because of the fact that it is like disengaging repeatedly, yeah, that is making my life a lot harder than it needs to be. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, that is going to try to attack me from there. I don't know if it can or not. Yeah, we actually do need it locked in a position where either it's closer to... I think I'm going to try to get it locked inside the shrine itself. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to try it. Hey, buddy. The other thing that could work, rather than just trying to lock it into the shrine, is I could try doing it from the Markham side, but I think this is going to work fine. Maybe not. It walked out. Oh, that's a bad thing to have happen to me. Okay. Shit. Just gonna reload. This is that there. I haven't done enough damage to deal with the fact that it has dealt that much damage to me. So we're gonna get closer, and then we're gonna save once we're closer to it, rather than saving on the other side of the world. And I do think that we need to get it into that shrine, but this time we're gonna get a bit closer to it, and we're just going to rely on our superior damage throughput to make up for the fact that we're a little bit closer, and thus presumably taking a little bit more damage. I need you to come to here. Okay. We might be okay here, we might not be okay here. The bulk of my damage is coming out from the characters that are not my healers. But because it's like right on top of me here, I'm taking so much more damage than I was before. I could try to reset the fight entirely. Actually, just gonna run over this way. So my hope here The nice thing about it locking in here as well is, in addition to the fact that it allows me to get like my hits in pretty consistently, it also means that I can drop down the backside, and dropping down the backside, it can't immediately start swinging at me. So I could try doing like a full reset each time here. Okay, but I think that I could try to get to a point where I can save as an example. Okay, got it. We got the leech down. Okay, so that's probably the most dangerous enemy on the map. It dropped a dagger and a broadsword.
Junk.
This is junk. This is a mage dagger of the dragon that's level 48.
This is perfect.
This is endurance, air resistance,
There's no room.
a variety of other things. This is a sizable vitality boost.
We could sell it.
Not too shabby.
Let's leave it behind.
That is a 36% power increase. That right there is a big frickin' deal. We're going from like 400 something to like 700. We have caught up to Quartal in damage in one quick equip. So we're going to pop over here. The other thing that I'm going to do, because I actually don't need to do a bunch of healing with Sortira right now, is that once we've got the healing out that we need to get out, we can save the game. We have that proof of concept. We can save the game again, and we actually don't need to save under danger. We can save under test, because we're no longer in a thing where we're having a significant issue. And we're going to basically just run across the map with however many enemies we can bring with us. The hope is that none of them peel off. And they're not peeling off. Okay. So we're going to go around the front here. And we're set. We have an answer to, technically speaking, we have an answer to every troll in the entire zone right here. No, not quite every. But pretty close to every troll in the entire zone could be dragged to here if we so desire. And we might desire to. I'm feeling fairly lazy right now. And while we could engage in more
Tis but a scratch.
invested strategies. This does not count as that, by the way. This is just me brute forcing them. I could invest in more like active, like kiting strategies for some of the weaker packs, but I think it makes the most sense for me to just do it, because otherwise I don't know that we're going to be able to finish today. As for whether I want to do the stuff that's upstairs that way, though, I don't know if I want to do the upstairs stuff by dragging it down here. I think, honestly, since I'm tired, I have not been sleeping super great. What I might end up doing is I might end up just clearing this bottom section, clearing out the rest of this bottom section, and ending a little bit early, rather than trying to do a mad rush to finish the whole thing. And then tomorrow we can finish the exterior here and pick up our first promotion which may or may not happen, but I think first promotion will come out of this.
I'm wounded.
Oh, I'm hitting both, trying to hit this river troll in the back, and I'm in trouble here
What is it?
probably. It's not great to be splitting my damage like this, but so far we might be okay. Okay, all set. All set. Alright, we've got... We need to uncast this. We can get a couple of points of healing out. We honestly don't need that much healing, though, since we are intending to just drag these. I'm going to put this on double speed and see if I can... Oh, boy. Just run for it. Let's go. Yeah, I'm so happy that we can just run right by all those peasants. Okay, we unfortunately lost half of our pack, but we can pick them back up. Let's clear these. I'm not that concerned about the fact that they're going to be hitting me, but I probably should be, considering there's a mountain troll that I didn't notice. I noticed that it was there, but I didn't notice it was a mountain troll. That was one of the other two types. Because the fact that I didn't know which type I thought it was is probably indicative that I should have been paying a little bit more attention to it. Alright, so we're clearing through. This shrine is doing its work. And we got a belt. See if it's any good.
We don't need this.
No, not good at all. And actually, it looks like my wife has just returned home, so I think I'm actually just going to end early today. I was thinking of maybe getting this last pack done, but given the timing, I think that this is an appropriate place to end. So that's going to be it for today. So thank you for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure streaming for you today. We've made some good progress here. Hopefully, I mean, we've killed like 15 rocks, and we've killed half of Tatalia's trolls. But look, we've made an amount of progress today that exists. We didn't get completely locked in. It would be really rough if we were still on the Boulder dungeon when we finished today. That would be really rough. But I'm actually feeling pretty good about our progress today. We've got an answer for how we're going to handle the trolls, or at least some of them. We have a answer to what happens with the boulders, which is they all die. We got those dealt with, and we've got gotten inventory management done that substantially improved our general durability. So, good progress. So, we'll see y'all later.